The Widnes Vikings are one of the form teams in the country at the moment, unbeaten so far in 2010. But tonight, in the Cooperative Championship, they face one of their main rivals for the title as Halifax come to town. Well, this is the opening game in round 3 in the championship, to be followed on Friday at 7:30 by the Sheffield Eagles against the Dewsbury Rams, and then a couple of games on Saturday as the Barrow Raiders take on Featherstone Rovers. That's a 6:30 kick-off, and Toulouse take on Keighley Cougars. 7 o'clock in Toulouse, that one on Saturday evening. Just the one game on Sunday at 3 o'clock as Lee Centurions take on Whitehaven. And in Championship 1 on Sunday afternoon, Gateshead face London Scholars. That's a 2 o'clock kick-off at the International Stadium. Then it's Rochdale against Workington kicking off at 3 o'clock, as does Swinton against Doncaster, and York City Knights against the South Wales Scorpions. Well, ahead of this game, problems for the Widnes Vikings with their skipper Mark Smith sent home from training with a raging fever. They actually had to go to hospital, he was so dehydrated. So, 1 or 2 problems for them, but this is how the Vikings line up, with Scott Yates at fullback. Then it's Paddy Flynn, Richard Varkulis, Shane Grady, Matt Gardner, Anthony Thackeray and James Webster, the captain. No Toa Koe Love still, one of 5 absentees for the Vikings. Gareth Haggerty, Thomas Coyle, Jim Gannon, Lee Duran, Liam Farrell and Dave Allen in the pack. And on the bench, Ben Kavanagh, Matt Strong, Dave Horton and Ben Davis, a very young bench for coach Paul Cullen. Now, Halifax, well, James Haley absent with a hamstring injury. Still no Dylan Nash because of a back problem, and no Bob Bezic in the Halifax side either for a return to his old club. So this is the back side with Shad Royston at fullback. Paul White returns, Lee Patterson, John Goddard, Rob Warrensey, Luke Brannigan and Ben Black. And in the forwards, Mikaeli Aizu, Sean Penkovic, Dominic Maloney, David Larder, David Wrench and the captain Stanley Jean. And on the bench, Mark Gleeson, Saeed Tamgart, Frank Watine, and a happy birthday, 18th birthday, to Anthony Bowman and the coach Matt Calland. And best wishes too we must send to Mick Scott, the Halifax lottery manager, a member of their cup-winning side in 1987, who was taken ill earlier this week with a heart attack, was taken to hospital, is thankfully recovering as well in hospital, apparently giving orders from his bed. So the signs are good, and everybody at the club and beyond Mick, including us here at Sky Sports, send you all the best for a speedy recovery. And he'll do your heart good to see this Halifax side maintain their start to the season in the championship. Here come the Widnes Vikings, and you'll notice a difference in their kit. It's, well, I'm not sure what colour you'd describe it at, not quite pink, a sort of peachy colour that's being worn in support of the Everyman charity, which helps fund research into testicular and prostate cancer. And yes, that's a fig leaf on the front of the shorts. It's supposed to be a nude colour, shall we say. It's very striking, a skeletal pattern on the front. The referee tonight is Robert Hicks, and he, I reckon, could have a fiery encounter on his hands, because these two sides are going to be in the shakedown at the end of the season. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
Looking forward to watching a couple of sides who are lethal in attack, Bill. And we break it down to each of its individual players. We can see that for Halifax, Shad Royston, the opportunistic Shad Royston, scoring the 8th try in a man-of-the-match performance against Batley last week. But for Widnes, we've got the ever-present Shane Grady, scored his 6th try in 2010. And in the front row, we've got Gareth Haggerty, the number 16 in your picture there. Got plenty of Super League experience with Jim Gannon, who scored 2 tries last week against Sheffield. But for Halifax, we've got Mikaeli Aizu. Starts a lot of the momentum that people like Gleeson and Penkovic will expose.
Good work, keep lifting.
That's the 5th tackle. And Webster onto Thackeray, very much the form player in this Widnes Vikings Anthony Thackeray. Not just in terms of try scoring, but the way he's pulling the strings for the team as well.
Well, you can already see the intention of the way Halifax want to defend tonight. Mikaeli Aizu come out and put one of the biggest shots on. that we've seen this year on Big Gareth Haggerty. Both of these teams have looked to dominate in the middle of that park because both have got very exciting halfbacks.
Halifax in possession, a bit of a sloppy play the ball. Penkovic scooped the pass up. 3 tackles gone. Here is Michael driving that in, but met by former Halifax man Jim Gannon in there, leading the tackle. Farrell in there as well, Liam Farrell. Ben Black now. Here's Stanley Jean, and Jean swats aside Dave Allen, but going across the field. In fact, he's probably lost a bit of ground there, only just inside the Widnes half, as Luke Brannigan puts the kick in. It's not a bad one, just got a bit too much behind it. Or has it? Yes. Only just.
Just a bit too much on that kick then. But when you play against Halifax, you've really got to be honest. There's another look. Just goes over. Widnes get the first penalty.
Dave Larder pulled out for that high shot. Enthusiastic approach from him early on here.
Dave Larder just going over the top. Sean Penkovic in there as well.
It's first versus third here at the Stobart Stadium. Vikings topping the table. Okay, only a couple of games gone. Both have won them both so far, so neither wanting to give ground here this evening. Paul Cullen down on the sidelines, just celebrating the anniversary of being in charge here, just about to the day for the Widnes Vikings. Of course, the first game he saw was the 70-0 thrashing of Toulouse, although John Stankovic, technically speaking, was in charge then. The next game was Paul Cullen's first official game in charge, and it was at Halifax, and they lost it. 2 feet, and hold. Matt Callans, still in charge at Halifax. But it's Coyle now, darting run from the hooker, looking for the run. Has he got it? The referee Robert Hicks takes an eternity, but the try is awarded, and first blood to the Vikings. And Halifax caught cold there by the darting run from Thomas Coyle. Well, Mark Smith on his sick bed, well, just out of his sick bed now, but ill earlier this week. Thomas Coyle starting in that role and not wasting any time making an impression.
Here's Paddy Flynn, returns the ball back, and you can see Larder just scores a bit too high. Gives Widnes the penalty, but Dave Allen attracts so many defenders to him whenever he plays the ball. Thomas Coyle had a little look up, had a look what was around the play of the ball. Look at him, you can see he just cuts that angle, he attracts 3 defenders, they're still trying to turn him over, still strong in the tackle, will not go down, looking to play that ball. Thomas Coyle's looking up, sees the player down, and he just scores that easy try for Widnes.
Which is comfortably converted by Shane Grady. And Widnes are ahead by 6 points to 0, and Thomas Coyle, a try scorer against his former club.
Matt Callum will have identified the defence and the lapse in defence that they'd had last week against Batley. And Thomas Coyle, he's a player that will take the line on. He's a full frame, a big lad for a hooker, and he's not afraid to take it right up to the line. On that occasion, gets over for the try.
Came to Widnes via Oldham after a spell with Halifax, whereas he saw he made 9 appearances. So that's a great start for the Vikings. First points on the board. Here's Gareth Haggerty. Haggerty back at Widnes after his spell with Harlequins. Turned down the opportunity to stay there and opted for a return to Cheshire to rejoin the Vikings. That's a good chase from the Vikings.
That's a great
with nowhere to go there.
Fantastic kick chase. They knew exactly where that ball was going.
Warrency now on his own 20-metre line.
Go. Come out cleanly.
And Widnes very quickly out of the blocks, making sure, just too quickly there, trying to ensure that Halifax don't get any forward momentum, but now they've given them the penalty.
They'll want to keep Halifax down in their own end, and they're working on the line speed. You can see that Widnes very quick off the mark, but a bit too quick for Robert Hicks on that particular play.
Widnes in good form at home this season. They've won all 4 at home in the various competitions so far, and they've scored plenty of points as well, as Gateshead, who shipped 50, and Keighley, who shipped 72, will testify. Not to mention Wigan, St Jude's another 64, but Halifax a different prospect altogether, although Halifax will have been working on the defence after shipping too many points for the coaches' liking at Batley last week with that nervy second-half fight back by the Bulldogs. Larder felt that thumping tackle. 4 tackles gone though, as Royston gets to his feet, plays that ball. Ben Black, pass over the top, but man and ball at the same time for Stanley Jean. On the last, Brannigan, cross-field kick. And it's knocked on by a Halifax hand, I think, or was it Matt Gardner who knocked it on? It was.
It was Matt Gardner. Both players have gone for the ball, Garner and Patterson. You can see that Garner has it and then he just loses it. Good pressure, but this Halifax side are really looking to play. Gareth Haggerty spotted Stanley Jean out the back. He had to come on, he had to make that ball and all tackle for Halifax in possession.
Ben Black's pass taken out of the air by Goddard. So this an opportunity for Halifax. Royston. Here is Ben Black. Black's short ball to Dominic Maloney. 2 tries to his name already this season. Both of them scored against Batley last week in the victory. Penkovic passes out wide to Brannigan, then Royston tries to get the ball over the top. He was never going to get there, and Grady snaffled that one out of the air.
That was fantastic pressure from Widnes. Even when they're on defence, they're still looking to attack. There's a good spot from Gardner. Good spot from Gardner. And Shane Grady just plucks the ball out of the air.
Penalty conceded by Halifax, offside.
And also Bill, Matt Gardner still feeling the effects of that tackle in back play. Halifax trying to get off the line. The game is always won at the rope. Well, you've got to control the speed play of where there's Gardner.
2 yards forward of it.
It looks like it'll be okay. There'll be no problem with him. But you've got to control the speed of which an opposition play the ball, and both of these teams know that. Because off the back of that, they've got threats all over the park, in the middle of the park and on the edges as well.
And just from the early exchanges, Tez, as Gareth Haggerty gets through, Widnes looking like they're trying to get numbers off and peel off nice and slow.
Coyle now, looking for a second.
2 feet, Halifax.
Halifax ordered right back onto their own try line by the referee Robert Hicks. Here's Webster, Thackeray brings Lee Duran back on the inside, and Duran across the field really, back where they started. But again, Coyle looking for a second. He's just short. In fact, he's lost the ball as he stretched out, but he was very close there, and again, he'd almost caught the napping, and the look says it all. I was that close.
Dave Wrench has stole this ball. Look at the arm in. Look at the arm in. Oh, the ref's got that wrong. I'm sorry, Robert Hicks, but you've got that wrong.
Get your head in loosely, properly in.
Let off then for Halifax. Coyle very close to a second try. Good defence on their own try line.
And that's why it's important that you've got to look up and play what's in front of you. If a call has been called, you don't just go through with it. You've got to look up and always see what's coming off the back of that rope.
Stanley Jean. Tackle, plays the ball. Here's his PNG international teammate, Mikaeli Aizu. Both of them coming here from Hull Kingston Rovers. Sean Penkovic, short pass. That ball's come free, and Widnes have gobbled it up. They've lost it. First knock on surely was by Sean Penkovic.
It's easy to miss what Mikaeli Aizu does for Halifax. He jams the ball in nice and hard. We'll just see what the decision here. Penkovic loses his footing. The ball goes down.
Put your head all the way in. Make sure you put your head in all the way.
Coyle, the number 14, regathers it.
Falling.
But Mikaeli Aizu and the job and the role that he plays, it's very important to Halifax.
Knock on at the speed. Knock on at the scrum there.
Dave Allen at loose forward, can't pick that ball up.
Work, guys. Bang, bang, bang. Get in. Falling.
So Halifax have possession back.
Try and get it to go in and out properly.
Hardly deserved it.
One. Move. 10 metres.
Error count already at 5. Here's Dominic Maloney. Maloney dumped to the ground. Farrell with the tackle. Brannigan now. Brannigan. To Larder. on the 40-metre line in the Widnes half. Here is Mikhaili Aizu, and storming through the first line of defence, leaving a couple of bodies trailing in his wake. Building up a bit of momentum here is Penkovic, but an ankle tap just from Haggerty just managed to slow his progress down a bit there. That's the 5th tackle. Stanley Jean's little chip kick over the top. Haggerty was waiting for the whistle, just pondering along there. Gives it to Thackeray. Now has Thackeray got the legs? The tackle by Ben Black. Well, what was Gareth Haggerty thinking there? He was waiting for the whistle, but play has continued. And Webster, the ball's gone backwards, says the referee. It's still alive. That was surely forward from Webster. Gardner coming back in field. He shrugged off that shoulder problem.
He looked up, he saw 90 metres in front of him. He didn't hit it at all, Bill.
Not a prayer. And Coyle again fancies his chances.
Move! 10 metres, 2 feet, done!
They're on the 10-metre line. Just underneath those Halifax posts.
Hold. Go.
Coyle. Here is Webster now. Webster fires the ball to Grady, trying to twist his way over the line, just short.
Go. Play on it with his foot.
Haggerty's pass is a wild one. Warrancy couldn't get there. It goes to touch.
Gareth Haggerty, the wrong man possibly that
It was a rising ball.
you'd want in that dummy half, but Stanley Jean puts the kick in. Gareth Haggerty picks it up. He thinks, I'm not running that far, let's take the scrum. But Thackeray's screaming for it.
And you say he wouldn't have gone, but I'm reminded that Gareth Haggerty actually did that in his Harlequin days, against Warrington.
Yeah, Warrington.
Even Fat lads
But I
can
think
run.
he was only 60 yards out then, Bill, not 90.
According,
Hold. Go.
it was a charge down. The referee has told the players it was a rising ball into Haggerty's arms. Well, that was a let-off. The ball's come loose, and Dave Allen has snackled it, and Webster has got it to Shane Grady. Grady is tackled, and Halifax, their own worst enemies at the moment.
But you've got to be switched on. The transition from defence to attack from Widnes tonight has been really good. Again, looking to play second phase with Thackeray.
It was a good shot from Jim Gannon that dislodged the ball.
Lee Duran across the field. Lee Patterson all over him, but he's managed to get the ball away, not particularly tidily. Allen it was who scooped it up. Here's Webster now. Webster for Jim Gannon. So Widnes 6-0 up, and really having all the pressure, apart from that one episode down near the Widnes try line when the kick was charged down by Gareth Haggerty. It's been all up this other end really, and it's up this other end now with Thackeray trying to spin his way out of trouble. But Goddard made the tackle. Webster. Allen. Dave Allen's pass out wide finds Grady. Comes back in field. Strong running centre, 20-year-old Shane Grady. Going down the short side with Liam Farrell. Farrell just for a moment thought he'd seen a gap, but it shut on him. And that's the 5th tackle. Halifax having to withstand lots of pressure here early on. Haggerty going on his own, I think. But the pass eventually from Webster to Webster. Bodies all over the place again. 3 Halifax players down. The ball over the advertising hoardings in the stand beyond, and it's a goal line dropout.
James Webster had a little look up, then he saw that all the players were flat with him. The only option then was to put a neat little kick in over the top and put pressure on this Halifax defence.
David Wrench takes a nasty slip just on that concrete at the back of the sticks. Dave Wrench, the last bloke here, just... Ooh.
That's hard on the old backside, that one. Back on his feet, though, as Halifax restart with that goal line dropout. Not the tidiest of starts to this game.
Gareth Haggerty putting a shot on Gardner.
Obstruction, the call. Well, he's having an eventful opening 15 minutes or so, is Gareth Haggerty.
Yep. Matt Gardner gives the penalty away, runs behind Gareth Haggerty, but would have been tough for Gareth Haggerty to get out of the way. He's played at acting half-back, he's played at half-back, he's played at prop, and he's even had to go on the wing tonight.
Brannigan, here's Mikhaili Aizu.
There's that leg drive, falls on his front, looking to play that ball as quick as he can.
Dominic Maloney, but stern resistance met there. Jim Gannon at the forefront. Maloney felt that. Ben Black, Shad Royston now. Royston bounces off the first couple. Farrell gets a hold of him at the second attempt. Black, Stanley G now. Straight up the middle, that's the fifth tackle. We've got numbers on this left-hand side here, and Ben Black puts a little grubber kick in. Oh, Goddard stretched for it. It's picked up. But Paddy Flynn will be brought back. He just got a fingertip to it.
Paddy Flynn had to make a decision. A very good kick from Ben Black, but you can see that Paddy Flynn just got his hands to it.
I'd have liked to have seen him run the length there. Just touches it with his right hand. Fantastic player, Paddy Flynn.
Got
a hat-trick against Halifax last year in the Northern Rail Cup. Paddy Flynn. And he would have been away and disappearing into the distance in his skin-coloured kit with only a fig leaf to protect him.
He'd have been a little bit quicker than Gareth Haggerty by about a week.
Halifax head and feet at the scrum. Ben Black takes a looping ball, and again, well, they're all over the place early on here, Fax.
That's a poor option from Ben Black. The option for Ben Black then was out the back. He's trying to set John Goddard free, but the Widnes defenders in his face as Widnes lose the ball. Or is it a penalty?
Ball stolen in that tackle, says the referee.
And this is a part of the game when you've got to keep your composure. When you make a mistake, you can't come up with a penalty straight away.
Penkovic is very good. I'm not sure whether he throws that and tries to go for the penalty. I think he realised that Patterson's being obstructed.
Well, Halifax might feel hard done by about that penalty decision, because it looked as though that was a classic case of the player in possession not maintaining possession.
Penkovic tried to rip that. It was the second player that came in that caused the problem. Penkovic's very good at stealing the ball.
Here's Lee Duran now. One of several Irish internationals out there, and of course a bit of a St Patrick's Day feel to proceedings here. A dance or two before the game. And Thomas Coyle has got one of the tries. Another mistake. Has got the try, in actual fact. The only try.
The way to the pass from Thackeray. Thackeray gets the ball, he runs across, he attracts the defenders to him. Caesar pulls him across, creates the gap for Liam Farrell. But Liam Farrell just wasn't expecting that pass.
Oof, says Paul Cullen. I think he dummies it, Tez, and then gives it him on the second goal. All players get taught these days there's no such thing as a dummy runner. Always expect the ball.
There's Paul White in possession. And back in action, Paul White, after recovering from a knee reconstruction last year, made just one appearance in the Salford Reds campaign. And then moved here in the close season.
Had a nice conversation with Paul White and his family on his way to his honeymoon. Manchester Airport, lovely lad.
Maloney plays the ball. Saeed Tamgart is on, but here's Rob Warrensey. That's the fifth tackle. Halifax really struggling to make progress here. Black's kick downfield. Gardner comes across to field it. Just wonder about Ben Black's fitness, because he had ankle surgery during the close season. He didn't have a full pre-season, and he's doing his pre-season in these early games at the start of the campaign, which can't be easy.
Bill, what Ben Black needs, he needs his forwards to be going forward. The likes of Michael Azu, when he was on making big inroads. They've sent on Saeed Tamgart now. See if he can impose himself in the middle channel of this Widnes side.
Go. Better, eh?
Oh, Tamgart went looking for Gannon and found him.
Well, as soon as you get on the park, you've got to set down your marker, and that's what Saeed Tamgart's trying to do.
Dave Allen, a marked man as well. He's lost that ball. And the Widnes supporters below us convinced that that was stolen as well, as is Dave Allen by the look of him.
I'd like another look at this. I think
Well,
Stanley Jean has hold of the ball and rips it. Do you know, Bill, on Boots and all the tries this week, we talked about possibly exploring two referees in a game. I'm not sure whether we need a little bit more help from the touch judges. That's in clear view. We can see that. I'm sure the touch judge can.
Well, it ended up as Halifax head and feet at the scrum. They trailed by 6 points to 0. That early try from Thomas Coyle.
Go.
Dave Wrench recovered from that thumping fall on the trackside perimeter and gets the penalty. Well, we had a high penalty count in the Batley Halifax game last week. 6 so far in this one.
And the penalty for Lee Duran, just lying on for a couple of seconds too long. They'd done the job. All they needed to do was get up, let Halifax play the ball. But Halifax starting to get back into this game. 3 penalties apiece.
Hold, go.
Well, now they've got a perfect opportunity. They've got a full set of 6. Was that obstruction? Certainly the Vikings fans reckon so. Tamgart just managed to put the brakes on in time, I think. Here he is now, the French international, and going backwards, Tamgart.
Now what Tamgart needs though, he needs someone leading into that next goal. That was an easy play for Widnes to read.
Gleeson's pass finds Ben Black. Black, great pass for Goddard, but Goddard, I think, is going to get held up there. In fact, more than that, he's driven backwards by good Widnes Vikings defence. Gleeson's long pass finds Brannigan. Brannigan to Patterson. Patterson for Warrancy. Comes back in field, gets the try. Rob Warrancy made that try with his conviction, really. Coming back in field, and the Widnes Vikings defence just couldn't cope with it. His 7th of the season, and he did it from a standing start there. The pass to him found him stationary on the wing, but he cut back in field.
And if there's one man you can't stand off, it's Rob Warranty. Here it is, Dave Allen. The referee said he lost that ball. Stanley Jean may have had a hand in that, but Widnes have got to defend. Halifax tested Widnes on the right-hand side. They turned up for each other in numbers, and then they threw the ball out wide. And you can just see the space of which they've got. Luke Brannigan again attracting the Widnes defence. Patterson and Rob Warranty, one of the strongest men in the league. He's got speed, he's got power, and he's got the try.
Now Lee Patterson to level the scores then from that Warranty try. Eyeballs the uprights, been in great kicking form already this season. And however they go over, they all count. 6 points apiece. 35th success of the season with the boot for Lee Patterson. And Rob Warranty's try helping Halifax to level the scores.
When Rob Warranty gets this ball, all the defenders are moving left. They're all sliding left. And when Rob Warranty gets the ball, he just cuts back against the grain and leaves all the defenders in his wake. Great footwork and agility. He knows that they're back in this game now, Halifax.
The coaching team enjoyed that from their winger, who had his best ever return in terms of tries last season, getting 17. He's on 7 already this year.
And Matt Callan just sent on another juggernaut in Frank Watine.
His Stanley Jean might not have the stature in terms of physical stature of some of the other big guys around him, but he certainly punches well above his weight, the Stanley Jean, and he doesn't have the height, but maybe he has the wit.
And he's got a willingness to work.
And the heart of a lion as well. Brannigan steps his way out of trouble on the last one, and Royston is chasing it and almost turned it into something there, Royston, because it was really nothing there.
Shad Royston, he's an outstanding player in this division. He puts so much pressure on Widnes. Luke Brannigan, he gets to his kick finally. Widnes players putting him under all kinds of pressure, but he just couldn't get to that then, Shad Royston.
25 minutes gone. 25 minutes of not particularly fluent rugby league here. Too many mistakes for both coaches, I would imagine.
And they're testing each other out. They don't want to make mistakes. When you're playing big games, you can't turn the ball over and you can't give penalties away.
Dave Allen takes the ball just over the halfway line for the Widnes Vikings. Thackeray now. Webster trying a little step, almost got a slap there from Saeed Tamgat. I think Tamgat it was an air shot from him in the end. Coyle gets the pass away to Duran. It's on the last. That'll be the turnover. And that was, again, it's scrappy.
And Halifax doing to Widnes what Widnes did to them when they were trying to get the kick away, and this comes from kick pressure. Coyle can't get that kick away, and they're hurried into a play, and Halifax get the ball back.
Sheen has lost that ball, and Lee Duran was all over him and just making him aware of who it was who hit him.
This is a great shot here. Frank Bottini takes the ball up. Lee Duran just hits the ball, to be fair.
All the way. Ball in.
Widnes get the ball back.
Webster, Thackeray now. Richard Varkulis plays the ball quickly. Oh, that was high. Tamgat again. Well, you said, Terry, that his objective was to make his presence felt. He's doing that.
And Saeed Tamgat knew straight away. Liam Farrell used really good footwork there. You can see him change. But Tamgat, all he done was swung his arm up. Liam Farrell. That's what happens when you have a lad who's running at you, you're flat-footed. You've got to stick your arm up. Saeed Tamgat giving that penalty away, and again, putting his teammates under all kinds of pressure.
He's actually more than flat-footed. Both feet are in the air. No chance of changing direction once his feet are off the floor.
Ben Davies, 19 years of age, one of the well, several good youngsters they've got coming through here at the Widnes Club, and it's a very young bench in actual fact for the Vikings.
3, 2 feet.
Davies at 19 is the youngest of them. They're very close to this try line now, and every time there, Coyle looks threatening. It's with another of the youngsters, Ben Kavanagh, who's just 21, and he's just short of the try line. Coyle's pass for Webster didn't do him any favours. Oh, it's done Paul White favours, and thank you very much indeed. But look at the chase, look at the chase. Has White got the legs? He might just have. He has. What a finish from Paul White. What a valiant effort from Paddy Flynn. White is back. And the ball, well, it was a stray pass on the Halifax line. It popped up for Paul White. He gets his third try of the season. They did their damnedest to try and stop him, but Paul White just had the legs.
Well, James Webster was trying to organise, but it was the execution of the pass from Coyle that led to this interception by Paul White. As soon as he gets in the clear, this lad has got speed to burn. He had a real bad knee reconstruction last year when he was at Salford. But he looks back to his best. James Webster pulls out of it. Dave Allen couldn't get that. Richard Varkulis is left in his wake. But Scott Yates and Paddy Flynn try and chase him down, but they just can't catch the speedster in Paul White.
Great effort from Paddy Flynn. So close to catching Paul White.
Right, when he's on the floor, he's just in the... Okay.
Now then, Lee Patterson. This will favour his kicking style round the corner, right-footed. So Halifax 6-0 down, have struck back. And this to give them 12-6 lead. Just hanging it in the air, he's missed with that one. Wry smile from the normal dead-eyed goal kicker for Halifax, Lee Patterson. But Matt Calland will have been impressed with the show of speed from his wingman there. Paul Cullen not impressed, I'd imagine, by the way his side gave possession away when they were again in a great position.
Paul White shows tremendous pace though, but we've got to pay tribute again. Paddy Flynn restricts Paul White's angle, which makes Patterson's kick all the more difficult, and justifiably he missed the kick, and Paddy Flynn will get his pat on his back from his coach.
Shoulder.
Frank Watine
2. Move. Go.
rides the challenges and takes play up to the 30-metre line. Dave Allen has a swat at Gleeson. Near the ooze of the Halifax supporters who felt that one in the stand. Stanley Jean again ricochets off the first one.
And just watch Gleeson. Anytime that he sees a Widnes player on the ground or behind the player of the ball, he's going to get the ball and he's going to run. There he goes again.
It's the fifth tackle, so it's with Brannigan. Brannigan running it, not a good pass, and Widnes going to get it. No, offside against Coyle, because the ball, I think, had ricocheted off a Widnes body.
He's saying that Shane Grady's played at the ball. It's the right decision. It come off his left hand, and Thomas Coyle was in front of him. That's why Halifax get the ball there. You can see, touches it with his left. Thomas Coyle is still in front of him.
I question whether that pass is going backwards or not.
Frank Watine with the first drive in this set of 6 then for Halifax. Up to the 10 metres line there in the Widnes half. Gleeson across the field. Patterson they're in, Halifax again, and Lee Patterson this time making sure that he has the best possible angle for the conversions, right underneath the posts. And again on that Halifax right-hand side, the Widnes left, they've cut back in field, and Patterson the scorer this time, his second try of the season, and you would guess that this will be his 36th goal of the season as well, when he converts his own try.
Keep well off the head.
It goes back to this penalty from Robert Hicks, and it was the correct decision. The ball has come off Shane Grady's left hand. Thomas Coyle picks it up in the offside position. The penalty's given. Big Frank Watine gives a big go forward. Gleeson gets out. Again, he straightens the play up. He stops the Widnes from sliding, and Lee Patterson just runs straight and hard into the gap.
Well, from trailing 6-0 down and being really struggling for the first 20 minutes, Halifax have just suddenly hit their straps, and 3 tries in the space of 8 minutes have, if not put them in charge, then certainly given Widnes Vikings something to think about, as Patterson does convert that one, and 16-6 the scoreline now in favour of Halifax. Third in the table going into this game against the side who are top. Okay, only a couple of games gone.
Halifax are absolutely lethal when they're in attack. They've so many players in motion. The correct ball from Brannigan there. He had an option out the back, chose the short pass, very similar to what we saw them do to Batley last weekend.
Well, I wonder if we're in for another one of these high-scoring games between these two sides, because remarkably, the last 8 meetings between these two here have produced an average of 70 points per game. And in September 2006, Widnes won 76-34 in a game that featured 19 tries. I don't know whether we're going to go to those lengths this evening, but we've already had 4 tonight. And we've only just had half an hour. And Halifax are looking more fluent now. Those passes are sticking. They're up to the halfway line. 4 tackles gone. Gleeson's run.
Gleeson's causing some problems.
What's the kick going to be like from Ben Black? He's under pressure, but gets it away. Bit of wind at his back. That one's falling into no man's land. And Lada is chasing it. So too is Goddard. Who's going to get there? Oh, who has got there? Wrench, I think it is. Was he onside? That is the crucial question.
Bill, I think he's okay. Ben Black put a towering kick up. Nope. Is that Wrench?
Is that
Wrench, the second player?
That's Dave Wrench, the number 22.
Never let the ball bounce though. Scott pulled out of that one.
Does anybody put him onside?
Where was Ben Black then in that shot?
Well, Widnes look as though they've conceded the try, and Halifax ready to convert it, but it's not going to count because Dave Wrench was offside.
You're right, Bill. Ben Black put up the towering kick and then didn't run forward to put Dave Wrench up onside. So Widnes will get the penalty on the 40-metre line.
And Black wasn't in a position to put him onside because he was flat on his back.
I meant he could have jumped up though, Bill.
So that is a let-off for the Vikings. And Dave Wrench thought he'd got his second try in successive games. As it is, Widnes have the penalty, and it takes them into the Halifax half, about 35 metres out. Into the last 5 minutes of this first half, which has got better as it's gone on, you've got to say.
And Halifax have had the majority of possession. Widnes have made nearly 27 tackles more. So obviously Widnes have been under pressure, but what can they do up this end of the park?
Ben Davies now. Now then, can Widnes hit back before half-time? They've got a great opportunity here. Coyle, dummies. But Halifax are alert to this now. He's stung them once, nearly stung them twice. They're not going to let him get away with it a third time. Webster. Webster will hoist the kick across the field. He's looking for Paddy Flynn. Flynn has it, and has he got the strength? Can he get it down? Maybe he has. Maybe he has. It's going to be another video ref decision. Stuart Cummins is having a busy night.
He shows amazing strength, but does he get this ball down, or does Paul White drag him over?
Oof. I think the second. I think Halifax have done incredibly well here. Let's see whether everybody's onside. They look like on that angle. It looks as if they're onside. A good, fantastic technique at catching the ball over the head. Paddy Flynn just trying to stay on the island. Paul White keeping him up until support comes. Does he get it down?
Oh, that's a try. What about the strength?
I disagree, Tez. I think he's on the line.
Towards his elbow, towards his elbow.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
No
Just.
try. He puts his hand down.
Great
Good
work
effort
from
by Paul
Halifax.
White. You've got to credit Paul White and Ben Black.
So is this going to be another try disallowed? We've had one the other end for Halifax ruled out. What about this one? Robert Hicks gets the decision, and it is, well, Paddy Flynn almost denied Paul White earlier on. This time Paul White has denied Paddy Flynn, and you can just see his left hand touching the ground there. And he did his damnedest to get the ball down.
And it's little efforts that get you the result. And was that little effort that will get Halifax the result tonight?
Hold. Hold.
So close to his first try of the season. The ball, according to the Widnes supporters, was knocked on there, but Halifax in possession with Stanley Jean, captaining the side again this evening. Stanley.
No, it's okay.
Up to the halfway line as Dave Larder plays the ball. Gleeson now. Gleeson thought about it, well, tried, but was quickly closed down, and that's the fifth tackle.
There's a problem for Tangat in the back.
It's Brannigan's kick. The last one caused all sorts of problems, and that's very well taken by Paddy Flynn. Good chase by Ben Black.
They've still got to look more confident on these high balls. They're trying to split the winger and the fullback, and one of them just got to command that ball and say it's mine.
Scott Yates running across the field, right on his own try line. Here's Gardner now, trying to get some yards for the side. Half-time approaching, Halifax ahead, 16-6, having trailed early on 6-0. Here's Gareth Haggerty. Gets the penalty. Frank Watine, I think, an accidental ball strip from him there. I think he just found the ball in his hands.
Gareth Haggerty's done ever so well to earn his side a penalty. He's got over the top of a couple of players. Watine's come in to try and slow him down. Haggerty used that old head of his to earn his side that penalty.
Last couple of minutes of the first half. Widnes looking for a second try of the night. Here is Ben Davies, a Wigan youngster, a Wigan Academy player once upon a time, but now here at the Vikings. Farrell. Farrell is tackled about 5 metres out. Webster. Coyle once more. Scott Yates joining in the attack. Here goes Richard Varkulis, trying to use his strength. Varkulis, another one playing against his old club. Crossfield kick, not a bad one. Flynn chasing it, the ball is loose, and Lee Duran will claim the try, but I reckon it's going to have to be another video ref decision. It's not, he's given it. He's contented that they were onside, but there was no knock-on, and they do get the try. They've been threatening, denied a few moments ago by Paul White's heroics, but the ball was loose, and Lee Duran was there to poach the try, his third of the season.
Haggerty's game witness a penalty. He's run hard, he's run strong. Halifax trying to slow him down. Normally for this Widnes side, Webster's the real indicator to where the ball's going. Thackeray had a little look up, saw that he was short outside. Widnes had the numbers, puts the ball up, and Paddy Flynn puts pressure on Paul White. He can't deal with the pressure, and Lee Duran scores the simplest of tries for Widnes.
So the Irish international celebrating St Patrick's Day 24 hours late with that try. And a timely one it is for the Vikings as well. Coming just before half-time, in fact, the hooter sounding, so Grady's conversion attempt, the final act of this first 40 minutes. And then the crowd hush. Grady just had to contend with a swirling wind here, but the crowd at his back, oh, tells him that it's on target, but it hits the crossbar, bounces away, and Paul Cullen, well, he's got to be pleased with that, as he demonstrates there as his side leave the field. Up here, the second half.